Hello everyone, I'm Santiago, and today I'm gonna be testing Call of Duty World War II multiplayer beta on the GeForce GTX 1050 Ti for FPS monitoring. This time I won't be using cam since it's not currently working with this game, so I'll be using MSI Afterburner instead. And if you enjoy the content and want to support the channel directly, there's a link to the Patreon page down in the description as well. So Call of Duty World War II multiplayer beta, I'll be doing 1080p, 900p and 720p. To skip to none of those sections of the video, check the description below. So first I'll show you 1080p with the G4560, and my target here is 60 frames per second. So I'll show you unlock frame rates and then I'll cap the frame rate to 60 in order to help the CPU be used less, since we're at 100% pretty much all the time, or the majority of the time. You'll notice some stutters on the G4560. The game usually likes to stutter, but I'll talk more about that later in the video in more detail. But it was quite annoying, the stuttering, so I tried a Ryzen 3 1200 overclocked to 3.9 GHz, and the game overall ran a little better. It was more stable, less stutters here and there, except when I use extra textures. With the 1050 Ti you cannot use textures on extra, just lower them to high. If you put them on extra, the VRAM usage will be sky high. It will try to be over 4 GB. We don't have enough VRAM for that, so it will take the memory from the system RAM. So the RAM usage will go from 6.8 GB or 7 GB to 8 GB, and the game will stutter. So just lower textures to high, and you should be fine overall by using the settings that I show you. On 900p and 720p you'll just see that I cranked up the settings to the max, except in a couple options that use a lot of VRAM. So 900p and 720p I'm using pretty much the same settings, but on 1080p I lowered some stuff in order to maintain constant 60 frames per second as much as possible. But yeah, so far the 1050 Ti is capable. I'm just waiting for the developers to fix this mess. So many people are having a ton of problems with the PC version of this beta, so I'll explain some of the issues and how to solve some of them. Some people are getting crashes by just launching the game. They cannot get into the game due to a crash. In my case, I had that issue, and in order to fix that, I just verified the files of the game on Steam, and the game stopped crashing at the startup. Then a ton of people are complaining about stuttering, and I can understand that. I ran into stuttering as well, but 80% of the time that I had stutters was due to the RAM. I saw the RAM usage and it was like 8 GB, so the computer was trying to put everything on the page file, so the page file was going higher and higher. That's why it stuttered so much. But another thing that I noticed there was that the VRAM usage was insanely high. Even the GTX 1060 with textures on Ultra, I'm talking about a 6 GB of VRAM video card, was getting the VRAM maxed out after 5 minutes of a match starting, and due to the lack of VRAM, the system tries to compensate that using RAM, 7 GB of usage to 8 GB of usage, and the stuttering started happening. So my recommendation there is just to lower texture quality, turn off cache sun shadow maps, and everything related to video memory that is listed in the options menu, and that actually fixed the stutters for me. And if you want to get higher frame rates, maybe your GPU is at 99% and you cannot reach 60 frames per second, you should lower shadow map resolution. Medium distance ambient occlusion usually is a big hit. Screen space ambient occlusion, HBAO plus seems to be the biggest hit to the frame rate, so you might want to use GTAO. Subsurface scattering didn't do much to affect the frame rate, at least in my case. Enabling shader preload also helped me to get more stable performance overall, but the loading screens were longer, so you got a trade-off there. But really I don't get how this game can use so much VRAM. In my opinion, Battlefield 1 looks better, and on max settings it uses only 3 GB. So maybe there's a memory leak or something like that, but if you want to use textures on Ultra and you have a 4 GB video card or something better, make sure to have more than 8 GB of RAM. 8 GB of RAM seems to be the bare minimum for this game. If you're having stuttering issues, just try lowering textures, that usually help me out, but there's not much more that we can do about it. Hopefully the developers will try to fix this for November. Hopefully they will. They usually give bad PC ports. Since Modern Warfare Remastered, we had a very bad PC port there, and they are the same developers, Raven Software. But well, we'll see once the game releases. Thank you so much for watching, and see you next time.
At the stairs! Ah!
There! Movement! On the balcony! Need another bandolier!
Santa Fe! Santa Fe! In the courtyard! There's one in the open! Garbage copies! Let's go! Movement by the container!
Awaiting orders. Recon airborne.
Movement in the courtyard! Ammo!
Rifleman in the window!
Recon threat concluded. Taking their backs.
Need cover fire! That's what Enemy spotted!
We lost fire superiority.
Movement! He's leaving! Keep him busy! Got the back! That's a team boxer! Gib mir Deckung! He's moving!
Enemy recon aircraft in the air.
They're on the balcony!